More than 40 years ago, when I had 3 small children dependent on me, we were living in the country, miles from the nearest house. We lived in 2 small rooms with only the heating stove to cook on. Looking back on that time, I don't know how we survived. It was the night before Thanksgiving, and we had no food. Nothing. I had fed my children the last of the macaroni and put them to bed. I had used the last of the coal for cooking their supper and for heating. Now the rooms were getting cold. As I looked at my little ones sleeping so peacefully, I thought about the bleak Thanksgiving day we faced, and my heart was sad. I sat at the window looking out into the darkness, despising myself for being in that predicament. It was naive of me to accept the divorce without asking for support for the children, and with no job offer in sight. Outside, the weather was cold and blustery, the wind bending the tree limbs first one way and then another. I thought, that's how I am, tossed about like the trees. I cried bitter tears when I thought my innocent children would have to suffer real hunger and cold when they awakened the following morning. Oh, God, I prayed, tomorrow is Thanksgiving Day. I have nothing to feed my children and I have no coal to keep them warm. I have no one else to turn to. Please help me. One of the children coughed and the baby whimpered in his sleep. I checked to see if they were warm enough, and covered them. Resuming my vigil at the window, I talked to He who knows our needs before we ask. Knowing in my heart that my Heavenly Father would take care of us, I went to bed, and to sleep. During the night, there was a knock at the door. Who could it be? I thought. I didn't have any neighbors. I hesitated before opening the door. There stood 2 women whom I had never seen before. They gave me a bushel of groceries and a bushel basket of coal. When I asked how they knew about my crisis, they smiled and said, "The Lord directed us here." I was so grateful. I cried and tried to thank the women. They patted my shoulder and said they were glad to be of help. Then they vanished into the night. I never saw them again. Later I was reading the Bible and came across these words, "Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares." Hebrews chapter 13 verse 2. Were they ministering angels? I wondered. The sustenance provided by the contents of those baskets, sent through God's divine delivery service, gave my children and me a truly blessed Thanksgiving Day. That faith-enhanced, long-ago experience taught me that sincere prayer is answered, especially in times of real need.